This USA. This is the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we visit with Bobby Sparkman, Jeremy Taylor with the upcoming Hot Rod Tour at Texas. Give us a preview, only a couple of weeks away.
I'm excited.
Also, I'll give you my thoughts on driving the 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid SUV. That's a mouthful. It's an SUV. You're going to like it, I think. Jeff has the Motor Minute, all in this segment of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us on this Saturday for our live show. We are live, aren't we?
Yeah, we are
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have no idea what we've been doing in the studio this morning for the last
had a breakfast burrito.
hour and a half.
I had breakfast.
Yeah,
it was good.
and this scramble to get us on the air this morning, as always. Nothing ever changes sometimes. Isn't that right, Mr. Mars?
If it wasn't a challenge, everybody would be doing it.
But see, it's no individual's fault. It's the process and all.
It's
the
everybody.
company.
Hey,
beyond us. Beyond us.
He did it.
Yeah, that's it.
That one.
You know what? David's not here.
David's not here, so we don't have David to blame just yet. All right, let's go to, well, shall we call it the mid-Texas coast? Nah, that's a little bit too far because they're not, I'd call Corpus Christi mid-Texas. But
Yeah,
let's go down to Victoria. I assume that you two guys are down at home this morning.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes, sir.
let me introduce them, if I may. Bobby Sparkman, Jeremy Taylor, the king and king, the kings of the Hot Rod Tour of Texas.
Two King.
Yeah.
Isn't it a rap group, Two Kings?
Two Kings, maybe so.
Could
Well,
be.
it is now.
They
We've
are now. They're
coined
rap
it.
Yep.
Two Kings.
Good morning.
Well, let's see. We've only had almost a year to get this thing off the ground for the 2025 tour.
Yep.
How things going?
It's going pretty good.
Fantastic.
Really?
They're going great.
So how many people have you got signed up? How many cars?
A little over 300.
A little over 300 cars. That's good. And
Completely new scenery this year.
yes, new scenery this year for the first time. Is this the third or fourth? This is the fourth one,
It's
isn't
the
it?
fourth.
Yeah, the fourth.
one.
Yeah. Well, you know, I have a bad short-term memory now, so they all kind of run together at this point in my
Yeah.
life.
Segment sponsored by Prevagen.
Prevagen. We need them as a
We do,
sponsor.
absolutely
Maybe
do.
we could do a trade.
I forget to call him.
Please, that's good. All right, so let's start on the tour. The tour starts in Victoria, Texas, because that's where you guys live.
That's our hometown.
There you
Yeah.
And you know what?
Hometown.
I've kind of have this. The only time that I ever went to Victoria was passing through. I never really stopped until I met you guys.
Well, Victoria is actually the best kept secret in Texas. I learned that when I first came here. Yeah, that's what they call it. Best kept secret in Texas is Victoria.
We're called we're the Crossroads. We're central to Austin, Corpus Christi, San Antonio, and Houston.
Yep.
Yep.
We're central to all
I
of
have
those
2
big
hours
cities.
either way.
Well, you know, it's funny because from Sugarland, it takes me about a little over an hour to get down there. It doesn't take long at all. And now that
No,
they've
it's pretty
kind of
close.
got 59 fixed up, it's a pretty breezy drive down there.
It's a nice drive once you get clear of Houston.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
And hopefully the blue bonnets will still be kind of hanging around. I think there's
We need some rain, but we don't need it. Well, on the tour, that's
Right.
for sure. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but I did see blue bonnets along the tour, so that's a good
There
thing.
you
that
go.
is a good thing. So let's talk about the Thursday gathering. What time does the actual event begin?
It begins. This year we're doing a garage crawl, so we're starting early. People can come in if they're coming in early Thursday. There's 5 shops that have opened their doors. People can come in. It's free. Stop by. There's no rhyme or reason to when you stop. It's anywhere between 10:30 a.m. and 4:30 that Thursday afternoon. You can stop by, check these shops out. Some of them are going to have food trailers. Some of them are actually going to provide some hot dogs and drinks and things like that.
All right.
They'll have some merch for sale. And it's a little bit of variety. It's a hot rod shop. It's a powder coating shop. A little bit of everything.
That's
They're
cool.
all local mom and pop businesses.
Wow.
Very nice. So are they going to also be on the tour with us?
Some will
Yep,
be.
some are. Yep.
That's good. That's cool. I love that. All right. And then when
downtown,
yeah.
then downtown, the downtown rhythms, the symphony will kick off about 5 or 5:30, and then we'll take over the stage at 7:30 with the Crowbars band.
I want to sit in with the Crowbars. I'm going to talk my way into sitting in with them.
You know that Jeff is a professional drummer.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Jeff, I can hook you up.
Yeah.
and Jeff has played with lots of bands, and he's very good. He was actually back in high school. He was the major domo of the band.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's back
we
when I had
can
hair.
hook you up, Jeff. We've
right.
also got, I don't know if you guys remember the guy that brings the Barracuda in from Michigan.
Oh.
No,
The blue Barracuda.
the Blue
He drives it
Barracuda.
in from Michigan every year. He's a harmonica player, and we get him on the stage with them every year and play
And
harmonica.
I'm from Detroit, so it's like old home week.
He was
Yeah.
a Detroit. He was a Detroit.
There you
automaker.
go.
He was. Well, so was
guys-
Jeff.
You guys will link up.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
Cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Small world.
Jeff worked what for Cadillac?
Yeah.
Worked for Cadillac.
Fisher Body.
Wow. We'll definitely hook you guys up for sure.
All right. Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
he's a hoot.
Now, so if somebody is watching the show today and they're thinking, I've been working on the car all winter long, and I think I might be interested in going on the tour. Can they do it?
We're sold
It's
out.
closed this year.
It's sold out.
Sold out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that you can't have any ride along hitchhiker kind of guys.
No, and we've got actually a couple of the stops this year are completely private. You can't even get in without your credentials.
Oh.
Really?
I found
Yep.
Now,
that's special.
Thursday night is open to the public, and it is free of charge. Anybody can come. Same with the garage crawl. Thursday in Victoria is open to the general public.
Gotcha. Okay, so 5 and 7:30, and then we go and get in the hotel room, get some sleep, and get up early on Friday morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And then you've got this really cool park there.
Yep.
Big baseball, softball fields down there.
I'm actually there right now.
All right.
Who is?
Yeah, that's where we'll
Riverside
be.
Stadium. I'm there right now.
Is there a game going on this morning? Are you part of a game?
There actually is some high school games. They're getting ready to get set up right now here at the stadium.
Great.
Very nice. And are
And
you
this has been a baseball stadium since 1947.
How cool is that? Well, it's got a great parking lot, and everybody.
Yes.
I think was it last year, or year before was the first year down there in that
Last year.
Last year, and I was
Yes, sir.
I was taken aback by the actual stadium because you could walk in and get in there. It's almost like a minor league baseball stadium.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's very cool.
It
Yeah,
is.
Victoria had their own team, the Rosebuds, way back then.
Really?
Yep.
That was your nickname
And
in
now
high
it's-
school,
now
wasn't
it's
it?
called-
That was my nickname in high school. You didn't know that, did you?
Rosebud.
All right. So
And
what time?
now
What?
it's home to the
So everybody,
the UHV Jaguars.
everybody.
It's home to the UHV Jaguars now.
There you go.
Okay. So everybody gathers up on Friday morning, and what time do you pull out?
8 o'clock.
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
8 o'clock. All
Yeah,
right.
they can start showing up here at 6:30 a.m. if they want. There's going to be the Chopping Block's going to bring a food trailer, actually award-winning food trailer. They just won grand champion cook-off at the Lamarck cook-off 2 weeks ago, I believe, out of a
Fantastic.
bunch of teams.
Very nice.
They do a fantastic job called the Chopping Block Barbecue Trailer. They'll be down here doing breakfast tacos and stuff that Friday morning.
Now we're going to have the police escort like we usually do.
Sure are.
Absolutely.
Several of the
Absolutely.
towns.
Yeah.
And Mr. Brogger's taking care of that for us. One of our volunteers that helps us out. He's taking care of all the escorts for us again this year.
I'm going to get a police escort in.
Are you?
That's what I'm going to into the show.
Into
Are
the-
they behind you or in front of you?
Behind him.
to be
Yeah.
determined.
Exactly. All right. So we strike out at 8 o'clock in the morning, and where do we head to?
Our first town we pass through is Port Lavaca.
Right.
Very
And-
nice.
Good coastal.
Yeah. There'll be some coastal driving, some views along the way, and our second
Causeway
stop
drive
will be-
over.
Yeah, we've got a big causeway we'll drive over. It's going to be a little different this year. You're going to see some industrial side of Texas. We're going to stop in Palacios for like a little quick 30-minute break to stretch our legs. And it's right there at the marina where one of the largest shrimping fleets is located.
Awesome.
And so great photo opportunities, a big statue for fishermen right there on the water, some good water views. So you'll see several water views along the way.
Should have your drone helicopter camera person take a shot of that causeway with all 300 cars going across. That'd be cool.
We've got some plans for some drone shots this year.
Very nice. Okay, so we're going to go down to Port Lavaca, and then where?
Port Lavaca to Point Comfort, and then Palacios, and several small towns along the way.
Do they know we're coming?
Yes, we've communicated with all
They
of them.
know. They know.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
They want us to
They're
stop
very excited.
everybody.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I can't remember the name of the small town that they brought the kids out. It was like a big
Oh, yeah,
parade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moulton.
Moulton, and it was so fun to drive through there. We were in a big parade, slow moving parade. Kids were out, everybody was waving. It was fun.
Yeah,
All right,
I
so
love it when it come out.
out of there, where we go?
So our first official stop will be the Hackett Winery, Vineyards and Winery there in Santa Fe.
Okay. Oh, okay.
What's
Yeah,
the name of it
and then
again?
we have a Hack Wineries, HAAK.
All
And I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right,
Super cool
That's okay.
place.
but yeah, and
Yep,
we
that's
actually
how you
have
say
a
it.
catered lunch there.
The ladies
so-
will know where it's at if it's wine.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
And they got some good stuff.
All right.
And then from there, we got lunch. We got a barbecue lunch there. That's part of the deal. Then we'll go to when we leave there, we're going to drive by Kemah, come back and drive by NASA. By the time we get back to Webster area, it'll be time you can check in before you go to Lone Star Flight Museum, which is our evening stop, where we have a couple hours of flight simulators included. So if you want to pretend you're a pilot, you can fly the simulators.
And they got a great
And you
parking
can
lot
do a
there
barrel
too,
roll.
by the
You can
way.
do a flip.
Do what?
You can do a flip in those simulators. We did it.
I'm sure you did. Yeah,
You
no
can
doubt.
do full barrel rolls.
Oh Lord! I will tell you that that they got a great parking lot there. We went
They
down.
do.
Yeah, we went there for I think it was a national Mustang event.
Yeah, Mustang Club of America.
Yeah, and that was a great thing, and got to see all the planes. As a matter of fact, one of those great big huge bombers. They started that thing up and taxied it out there. It was a great time. So, and then you're going to spend the night in Webster, you say?
That area, yes sir.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice.
And then
And that will be a private stop. We rented the entire museum.
Oh, very nice. Okay. And then
and a
on
meal included there also.
dang. Okay. Buy me lunch. And then so that's on Friday. So
That's Friday.
And then Saturday, what?
Saturday we'll leave from that location, and
The museum?
We'll drive over the big bridge by Baytown.
Okay. The Fred Hartman. Yep.
Yeah, the Fred Hartman.
Fred Hartman,
Then
that's
we're gonna
it.
go up on 46. We'll go up, hit some back roads north of Dayton, and come back around, and then we'll end up at Spindle Tap Brewery.
That's it.
Yep.
Yes.
North-
and-
Northeast Houston.
And that's where y'all be
Yes.
broadcasting from.
So I will not join you on the tour that Saturday morning. I'll be joining the boys up at the Spindle Tap to get set up. So we'll be ready to do our live show at 10 o'clock that
Awesome.
Saturday. Yeah.
The band will be setting up with you guys as well.
Well, they're going to be outside, I believe.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct. On the
We're
outside
not going to
stage.
be outside. We're going to be inside.
Yeah,
I
forgot
talked-
to
Cool
mention
in there.
that.
Yeah. Well,
Crowbars will be traveling with us.
I'm sorry. Who will?
Crowbars.
The
band.
Crowbars
Crowbars.
are
Good.
traveling with us and playing at several venues.
Very
We're
nice.
setting
They'll
up
be,
right.
they'll be performing at every venue except for the final venue.
We're setting up right next to the taps.
Yep.
Yes, we
That's
are.
a cool place.
Yeah, we are setting
The
up.
taps.
Actually, you walk in the door and you can't miss us. We'll be right there in front of you. Okay, and then if you can divulge the information, where do we head out from the Spindle Tap?
All right, from there, we're going all over the place.
Great.
If you when you get a chance to look at the route, it looks like a giant flower around Houston, actually.
Okay.
Out, coming in, going back out. But we'll end up the stop that evening will be Guitars and Classic Cars there in Montgomery.
Uh-huh.
It's a brand
And
new
it's-
cool venue.
It
Really
is a cool venue. Yeah, and they'll have it's a park setting. They got a stage there also, and another catered meal, and then it's string lights strung between the trees and stuff. It's a pretty nice setup.
Very nice.
And
We'll have tables and chairs set up and everything for folks to eat and sit down and enjoy the weather.
Very nice.
It'll be beautiful.
Great. And then, so that's on Saturday. And then,
Sunday we'll leave out. Sunday we'll leave out at 9. We'll let you sleep in a little bit. it's just we're traveling a lot of miles. So we'll end up at Bray's there in Madisonville. That's our final stop.
Yes, that's
And
a museum.
got museum entry, and then if you like to, you could run the course, which I've tested out before. It's fun. Yeah.
Very nice. And then,
then-
we wind up in Madisonville. Is that right?
That's our final
Yes,
stop.
sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Very nice. Okay.
And then I actually yesterday I ran the entire route. It's 488 miles from the park all the way to Madisonville.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. You get the car to stretch its legs a little bit and get the juices warm on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, our goal is usually for right at 500 miles, so we shorted you 20 miles.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Shorted me there.
Just add it to next year.
yeah.
Yeah, make a couple of laps at Bray's and you
Yeah.
can make it up.
Well, it's going to be tons of fun. Next weekend, we're going to be at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy doing a remote broadcast from there. And then the next week, we'll be at Spindle Tap Brewery on the north side of Houston. And we'll see you guys then.
All right. We'll see you then. Can't
And we-
wait.
And we want to thank everybody. You guys have definitely been one of our biggest supporters. City of Victoria, Main Street, all of the stops, the participants. We just had a fantastic support group and volunteer team. Our volunteer team has went from a few people last year to a large. If you go on our website, you can look and see the about us, and you can see a little bit about each one of our team members. We got a great team.
Well, gents, we look
Yeah,
forward.
we can do it without 'em.
We really look forward to it, and
Yeah.
I guess that next time I see you guys or talk to you guys will be at registration down there at in Victoria in the town square.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Y'all take care. Thanks again.
Yep.
All right,
Thank
y'all
you,
too.
guys.
Okay, Bobby and Jeremy, Hot Rod Tour of Texas, just ahead of review of the 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid and Jeff's Motor Minute. Right after this quick break.
You've waited all winter, and it's finally here. The Tailpipes and Tacos Spring Cruise In. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, Saturday, April 19th. Make any donation to Shirley's Kids and get a free breakfast taco. There'll be mimosas and Bloody Marys, too. Get to the best cruise in of the year, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, make a donation of any amount, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. Join the car camaraderie, and your car will automatically compete for one of 3 chili pepper trophies at no charge. Spring is here, and what better way to celebrate than with a free taco at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We hope to see you then. Come on out. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Hey, coming up, the Hot Rod Tour of Texas, you just heard, April 24th through the 27th, beginning in Victoria. We got links to the information on InWheelTime.com and the InWheelTime Facebook page. Be sure and follow us. Time now for the Motor Minute. Jeff
Yes,
got
sir.
that.
NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been elected to the Motorsports Hall of Fame class of 2026. I think that's great. Per Jenna Fryer with the Associated Press announced this actually a couple days ago. Earnhardt is back in the stock car inductees and headlines in the class, which includes Pete Lyons, he's a racer at large. Sammy Swindell, open wheel. John Morton, sports cars. Dave Wilwalk from Powerboats. Powerboats are always fun to watch. Kenny Roberts from motorcycles, and Steve Gibbs from drag racing. Earnhardt 50 is worthy of the induction. 2-decade career with NASCAR. He won back-to-back Xfinity championships. And on a different note, which includes Dale, actually, the annual throwback event at Hickory Motor Speedway will now be known as the Throwback Classic. Flow Racing is recording the purse. They're the sponsor.
That's Courtney Anders.
Courtney Anders. That's why I threw the story in there. They're actually owned by Flow Sports is the parent company, but Flow Racing is where Courtney's at. They're going to do it. Dale said that he owns part of the ZMAX Car Racing Tour. The goal is to put the series together with many eyes as possible. It's a throwback. They don't have to write the colors. They don't have to have the right numbers or anything. It's just the old throwback racing is what it is. So he's doing that. Flow Racing is part of it. They're the sponsors, or actually communicating that on the air. So very, very cool stuff coming up for Dale and Flow Racing.
How exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. Time now for this hour's car review. Yours truly had the chance to drive the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. Now, this vehicle is built in Ulsan, Korea.
Ooh,
so
Son.
it's going to get the tax on it. Available trim levels, SEL and Limited. I had the Hybrid, Limited, all-wheel drive. This is a small SUV. I want you to notice the angles over the wheel wells on this, and I'll bring that up in just a minute. Seats 5, based on the 4th generation Tucson introduced in 2022. Attractive front fascia with edgy fender flares, front and back. Very unique to this, and that's a good thing because it does make this a unique vehicle. Rear hatch has a sloping glass with a sun visor over it. Quad tail lamps with kicked up rear valance gives it that kind of a off-roady look. Wheels are plug-in exclusive. Overall look gets high marks in my opinion. What could use improvement? I'm not sure. I do like that distinctive look. Interior highlights. New big screen includes the instruments and the infotainment system. A horizontal linear dash looks really good in this. An odd shifter on the steering column is a twist and push affair. Once you get used to it, it's no big deal, but thought, how odd. Yeah. Comfortable seating with rugged faux leather interior. Adequate for this size SUV is the cargo room behind the second row. But I like the overall design, just works just right. What could use improvement? An odd cell phone pad on the elongated center armrest and console. I guess you get used to it, but it puts your phone right there at your right arm, right hand.
Oh.
It's right. It's an odd looking thing.
Use it as maybe a controller or
Well, I guess.
CarPlay or
there you can see there
Yeah,
at the bottom of the
Yep,
screen.
See that.
1.6 liter gasoline inline 4-cylinder engine coupled with the electric motor gives 268 horsepower combined. Torque 258, which is plenty. 6-speed automatic transmission. Miles per gallon, 35 across the board. City, highway, and combined. I got 32.7 over 356.4 miles. What I liked? Well, you can get up to 30 miles on electric only.
Wow.
So, if you do the church thing once a week, you go to the grocery store, you take the kids to school, get home, plug it in, you're good to go. What could use improvement? The overall good combo with plenty of power. So no improvement there. It's just a comment that I wanted to make. I think that this is a good, well-rounded vehicle. Base trim price, $49.45. That's $40,945. Prices tested, $43,000. Base model price, $41,000. Competitors, Kia Niro plug-in hybrid, $34,490 is where it starts. Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid, $40,445. Ford Escape plug-in hybrid, $38,400. So it's right in the smack dab middle of all of these. And I'm not sure where the other ones are built, but obviously it may have an impact on you. Now, of course, the ones on the lot currently, I would imagine, do not have the tariff on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's only for like new new deliveries, I would say, new deliveries to the country.
Yeah, at the port.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I read a story this morning that apparently there's several manufacturers that are holding their cars at the port of entry. So in other words, they haven't crossed the line yet into the United States. They're holding them at the port. So hopefully they can get this thing worked out, and then when they get it worked out,
Release the hounds. Yeah.
Yeah, so to speak.
Bring them in then.
Yeah. The whole tariff thing is gone bonkers. What is it now on China? 145%? I think China's 145 because it was 125, and then it went up when they retaliated and
It
said
went to 160. Maybe it is 145.
I don't know.
145, yeah.
145 is what I heard.
Buy
was
low
the
and
last.
sell high.
Yeah, on China.
Yeah, China.
And, everybody's kind of really chomping at the bit as far as all the Chinese goods makers, the plastic stuff, the stamped metal stuff, all the stuff that they make in China that we buy, even clothing. So all of these countries, like Vietnam, of all places,
Vietnam, Bangladesh,
they're all stepping up, say, don't worry about the tariffs. We'll give you free trade here with us. You give us free trade. You know that they're working round the clock to get those factories up and running so they can be the new Chinese fulfillment maker of all the stuff that we buy from China.
Yeah.
I think they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, I think that's kind of the idea, but we don't want to get into too much political stuff here. But
Thank you. And me love you long time, too. I just said that.
Yeah, you did.
I heard that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I've got a special feature that I've got coming up called 5 Extinct Car Manufacturers That Should Make a Comeback. I think I'm going to do that. I'll tell you. I think I'm going to do that maybe in the next segment.
What you got coming up at, we got
We got stuff.
Yeah, we got stuff.
Yeah,
We got some good stuff.
Yeah, some good stuff. I think we're probably going to do it in the next segment coming up, okay? And if you want to, we can do it right off the top before we get to the
please.
recalls and the Hemmings Sold Car Roundup.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
My brain's not working real well this morning,
What
as
happened?
you can tell. Well, I had a couple of margaritas last night, if
Whoa,
you want to
really?
know.
Oh, be
and
darned.
you know what? You didn't help the situation by getting the third one and then say, oh, here, have some more of this. So really, I had 2.5 margaritas last night.
So he was trying to be helpful.
Yeah,
If you want to call it that, but you can see that clearly it's not been helpful. It's
I'm a
been
giver.
hurtful.
I'm a giver.
He is.
He's,
Let's give it a half a drink.
All right. Let's see. If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We'll be back right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show now reaches 5.3 million folks each year. Check us out on InWheelTime.com, the Odyssey Radio app, YouTube, Facebook, and just about every other entertainment source out there, including our live broadcast every Saturday, 10 to noon Central Time. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show has informative automotive guest interviews, new car reviews, along with popular features including Jeff's Car Culture, the latest new cars, cruise-ins, and racing dates. It's InWheelTime.com. Join us.
This is your place for all things automotive, the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we get you involved in Hemmings Sold Car Roundup and what it's sold for, along with this week's new car reviews. I've also got 5 extinct car manufacturers that should make a comeback. It's a story that was published on Hemmings.com. And I thought this is too good to pass up, so we're going to do that as well. Later, Jeff has the racing calendar. Mars has This Week in Auto History, and I'll get you caught up on the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us for our live show here on this Saturday morning. Going to be a beautiful day. And by the way, I'd be remiss or reminiscent. Anyway, whatever I'll be. Today is the art car parade downtown.
We're gonna bring that up. I think Mike has something on that.
Yeah, we tried to set something up. I finally heard back from them late Thursday night. And they said the board of directors was busy, the parade, blah, 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 blah. But there would be a lot of people that we could talk to that are out there lining up. And so I answered back, great, that's who we want to talk to. Give me some names and I'll set it up. Never heard another word.
Oh, that's okay. But it's an annual event. How many years has it been going?
Long
Long time.
I went to one of the first ones.
I think Kathy and I did too.
And it was tons of fun down Allen Parkway and around downtown to the City Hall.
It used to be just, you decorated something in the backyard or whatever, but I heard this year that some of the car dealerships are donating their wholesale vehicles, the ones they can't sell or refurbish to sell to the public. The wholesale vehicles that go to auction, they're kind of giving some of those away for the folks to
Well, that would be fun.
to do that, yeah. That's what I heard anyways. Some
So-
of the dealers.
Shall we do this?
Yeah.
Okay. 5 extinct car manufacturers that should make a comeback.
And there it is.
Over the course of automotive history, many vehicle manufacturers, even successful ones, have been forced to call it quits, despite in some cases being gone for decades. Car lovers still reminisce about what once was. Many of the cars, now classics, are considered collectibles. Here are some of them that have gone extinct, but could potentially make a comeback in the modern day market due to previous successes and popularity. How about the 1970 Pontiac? Oh, I'm sorry. How about this one here? And you know what? I don't. That's an AMC. Mm-hmm. And I guess I threw out the page.
No, good.
Okay, that's good.
That's just your title page, I guess.
Well, that's it.
But that could be. Yeah. Look what's in the background in this whole building there. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. But that is a American Motor AMC.
Yes.
Javelin AMX.
Then they made a Matador too, because we had a friend growing up that had a blue Matador.
Yeah, they made 2 or 3 of them, but this is the one that's really it's like a 2-seater if I remember
It
right.
is.
There's no back seat.
There's no back seat.
Like a Cougar Nova kind of size.
About that
It's
size,
bigger.
yeah.
It's a little bit bigger, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the car. I like the design.
It's
but
pretty
you know,
right there.
AMC in my generation is like AMC, but the car was bad to the bone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our second car, this one. Here comes the Judge.
Come to judge.
The Pontiac GTO Judge. The Pontiac name was first introduced in 1926. The automaker hasn't produced vehicles since its last car. A white 2010 G6 sedan was assembled January 4th, 2010 at the Orion Township Assembly Line. Once advertised as GM's performance division with the tagline "We Build Excitement," Pontiac released what is argued to be the first ever American muscle car, the iconic GTO. Over its lifespan from 64 to 74 and again 2004 to 2006, Pontiac sold a total of approximately 185,000 GTOs. Who wouldn't love to see a Pontiac GTO revival compete with Dodge?
Yeah. Look at that. That's got to be somebody's man cave.
Yeah. That'd be yours.
Yeah. It kind of looks like it.
Next up is the 1950 Studebaker Champion. My brother had one
I
of
think
these.
my Aunt Stella had one. I'm not
my
sure.
God.
It looks familiar. I think she had a Ford.
I asked him before he died, I said, so whatever happened to that car? He says, well, I was stopped at a stoplight and a garbage truck came and rammed into the back of it and pushed the rear bumper right up to the back of the front seat.
Oh, wow.
My back was never the same, but there you go. That car.
I think my aunt had a Ford. She had a
Popular model was the Champion, which is this one here. Built from 1939 until 1958, the Studebaker Champion was the brand's best seller because of its durable engine, styling, and affordability. And if you look at that, it kind of looks like the Tucker a little bit.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got some favors
That
there. Yeah.
bullet nose thing on it.
Yeah, and the way the rear end's kind of that rear quarter.
Yeah. Crazy about Mercury.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice
Created
car.
by Edsel Ford in 1938, Mercury was meant to bridge the gap between Ford and Lincoln model lines within Ford Motor Company. Mercury was the sixth most popular car brand in the U.S. in the early 1950s. Classic Mercury cars produced from 49 to 51 are recognized as the holy grail of traditional custom cars. The Mercury Grand Marquis was the best-selling Mercury car with 2.7 million. The Grand Marquis.
Yeah, that is a good-looking car there.
That is.
I would drive that. That would be hot rod tour every day.
Yeah,
Needs some
but
lake
don't
pipes on
chop
it.
the top
No,
on it. Just
just
leave
like
it like that.
Just like
Put
that.
some lake pipes on it, though. You need a little bit.
No, I'm not into that. I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
tint the
yeah.
windows a little darker.
While Lincoln still exists, Mercury was eventually dissolved in 2011. However, Mercury trademark still registered to Ford today. So the question is Ford hanging on to hope to revive the Mercury nameplate?
That's gorgeous.
Here we go again. AMC. Well, we kind of touched on this right off the bat.
Yep.
First created by what was the largest corporate merger in history at the time, the American Motor Corporation, AMC, hit headlines in '54. During its 34 years as an independent company, AMC produced the Jeep, which ended up being the fate of its now extinct name when AMC was renamed the Jeep Eagle Corporation in 1988. Remember that?
Yep.
AMC's best-selling single-generation model, the AMC Gremlin, with over 670,000 units sold in the U.S. and Canada from 70 to 78. While large trucks and SUVs are still flooding the market, a smaller civilian hatchback vehicle could fill an ever-growing void in the current automotive realm. You think?
Yeah, the only thing different, I would take those prime wheel tires off and put a different brand on, in my opinion.
Like some B.F. Goodrich's
Yeah,
or
some
something.
Gatorbacks, whatever.
Next up is Plymouth. Plymouth's brand image. Do you not have that?
I don't have another picture, no.
Well, Plymouth's brand image was focused around building affordable vehicles at the lower end of the market. It did well on sales through the 50s and 60s, but by the 80s and 90s, the name began to fade. Many Plymouths were rebadged as Dodges or Mitsubishis, and by 2000, Plymouth production went extinct. When it came to no-frills power at a fair price, Plymouth Roadrunner delivered. We saw several of them that John's got in his collection out there at the Hemi Hideout. 1968 to 70 are widely regarded as the most popular car ever made by the brand. By 1970, the Roadrunner became Plymouth's best-selling performance model and one of the best-selling muscle cars ever produced. I thought that was a fun little thing to go through.
That was good.
All right. Let's do some of the recalls, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Can we do that?
I don't mind at all.
All right. First up is Nissan. Nissan Kicks for 2025. Incorrect weight rating on a label. What?
I couldn't buy that first Buick because they didn't have the
label.
The label under the hood. They would not sell me the car. So I went to another dealer and found one.
Found one.
And bought it.
And bought that one. Yeah, they didn't have the label on it. I thought that was interesting. Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid for 2025. Loss of control from a loose brake caliper bracket. Incorrect head restraint information on the Cadillac Lyriq for 2025. That's causing a recall. Well, couldn't go for recalls without having a Ford in there. Ford Transit Connect 2019 to 2020. Engine may overheat. And if it does that, it could possibly explode. Seatbelt may fail to retract or extend. Ford Expedition 2018 to 2020, along with the Lincoln Navigator, same year models. Here's some more Ford stuff for you. Misaligned engine oil plug. So that means that you've stripped it to get it into the oil pan.
It's misaligned.
It's misaligned. Ford Expedition, Ford F-150, and the Lincoln Navigator 24 and 25 model years. Here's another one. Incorrect fuse may cause a loss of drive power in the Ford F-150 hybrid for 2025.
Huh.
So those
I'm still on the misaligned oil plug. Normally, when I strip a bolt or something, you can't get it back out.
well, it doesn't leak. So how would you know, unless you went to change the oil, that it's misaligned?
Is that particular part put in by automation or is it a human? That
couldn't
would be
know.
the difference.
I couldn't tell you. All I can tell you is that it's probably from the factory that made the engine. And typically, the engine is not made at the assembly plant.
No, it's
Right.
pre-assembled. All
No,
they
no,
do
I
is drop
agree,
it in
but-
as a...
I just the first time you change the oil, that's going to show up.
You think? Yeah,
Yeah, and I
it's
would
gonna
think
show
that
up.
would happen at the dealership.
It's probably where
Well,
they found
but
it.
you know, most people, I don't know
It's
anymore.
part of the make ready. I mean,
Well, it's part of the. Well, no,
No?
they don't change the oil at Make Ready. No, the oil doesn't get changed until
they
whoever
changed
buys
the plug
it.
at Make Ready.
Whoever buys it changes the oil. Okay.
So the oil that comes from the factory that's in it when they ship it, that's
It's
just
going to
what they
be in
leave.
there for
It's your
5,000,
break-
10,000
yeah.
miles, sometimes 15,000, 20,000 miles.
About
Tonight.
3,500 for mine.
Okay.
Let's do the fun stuff, shall we?
Okay.
We happen to have this week's
Oh, I got to pull it up.
Hemming Sold Car Weekly
Dun,
Roundup.
dun, dun.
By the
And,
way,
this is a little fun thing that we do. So these cars sold through Hemmings.com in the used car department. And they come with a description. And this is for you, Jeff, because I thought this would be a perfect Jeff car. A 1989 Cadillac Alante. Do you remember the Cadillac Alante?
Ay, ay, ay.
Huh?
I do.
we talked to
Yeah.
a guy in the Cadillac, the Houston Alante Club.
Lord, can't imagine they've made enough of them. But whatever the case may
They
be,
didn't say it was a big club.
wasn't this the car that was shipped over from Italy?
I believe so. Yeah,
I believe
the
it was.
Alante. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an '89 version. How much do you think that car sold for?
89 version. That car sold for $32,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Mr. Mars?
10.5.
10.5. Now, do we have Jeff Heitzman with us?
He says 40.
40. Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
The car sold for $5,400.
Oh, that was my next guess.
I was going to say that,
Oh.
but I didn't want to sound silly.
I thought you want to do the new price. That's what the 32 is the
No,
new
well,
price.
it's the new price probably was $5,000. All right, next up, the 1964 Chevrolet Chevelle. I would like to have one of these.
Oh,
Yes,
everybody
yes,
would.
yes,
Come
yes.
on.
64 Chevelle. Now, it appears as though it's got a V8 motor in it because some of those Chevelles, had 6 cylinders in them.
yeah.
And
yeah.
look at the tailpipe. Look at the way it's stanced.
Well, it's got the V8 emblem on the
Oh,
side
yeah.
of it.
And it's got
And-
those are hubcaps, by the way.
Are they?
Yeah,
You know how
wheel
you can
covers.
tell it's a
Can't
V8?
see them that good.
You can tell because there's fuzzy dice.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So how much do you think a 64 Chevrolet Chevelle two-door would be a hardtop? How much do you think that would go for?
I'm going to go with the
today?
32 again.
Heitzman says 21. I'm going to stay around 18.
18. Well, the car sold for 31.5.
I knew I just had my 32s mixed up.
Yeah.
That's all
Next
it was.
car on the agenda is the 1971
Oh, man.
Chevrolet El Camino. This is an SS. Now, whether it's original or not, I don't know. But it's a 71 El Camino. My daughters think that this is a really ugly car. I like it, and I would buy it. It does. This one here, it actually has a 454 in it. But in 71, the horsepower was not what it was once was when
Yeah,
it was
to
a
match up with
427.
it, yeah.
Right. So just remember that. 71 Chevy El Camino SS. How much do you think it sold for?
$19,000.
Heitzman says 29, and I'm going to say 36.
Okay, Heitzman wins 27.3 is the sold price for that one.
I just saw one on Facebook Marketplace in Alabama, a roller for 6,000.
Yeah. Well, that would kind of fit with the price on this. All right, next up, 1977 Chevy Impala Caprice. Two-door.
I'll let you go first, Michael.
It has a 350 V8 in it with 300 horsepower. 77 Chevy Impala Caprice.
10. Just because it's
Jeff?
a Caprice.
I'm going to go 8.
Like aftermarket wheels on it.
Yeah. And there's a trailer behind it. Did it just come off of that or
No,
what?
no. What does Mr. Heitzman say?
He's saying 33. He's impressed by
Okay,
it.
well, you'll be impressed by the sale price of $12,600.
We're all over the board on that one.
Yeah.
What did you say, Mike? Did you?
I think I said 11.5 or something
yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Okay. 77 Impala. All right. Next up, for all of our English lovers, 62 Triumph TR4. Remember, we talked to the president of the Triumph
Yeah.
Club here in town.
But this isn't a bug eye, though.
No. Well, Bug Eye would be a Sprite.
Oh, that's
but
right. Yeah, yeah.
62 Triumph TR4. From England, along with all of the problems that they have with these cars.
Yeah.
What do you think that sold for?
Oh, gosh. That's a
Don't think too much about it now. Just
$7,000 car.
7,000. Mars?
And I'm thinking 11,
What did Jeff say?
17,000.
17. That car sold for $8,000.
I'll take it.
Next
Yeah,
up,
okay.
next up,
All right.
across the pond, a 1988 BMW 325i. It looks like a convertible to me.
Yes, it does.
Okay, 325i, 88 model year, sold for fill in the blank. Mars?
I'm not a fan of that.
Neither am I.
That's
I would
neither
go-
here nor there.
Yeah, I know. It's a BMW. 14.
16.
Heitzman says 17.
$7,460.
Which pond? Because this got a pond plate of Minnesota on it. I don't know if it's a big pond.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Woohoo, look at that.
This tempts me. It tempts me. This is what we used to call a bucket T. Remember
Yeah,
those?
yeah.
A 1923 Ford hot rod.
Now they call them T-buckets.
They do.
What do you think? No. What do you think? It's got a 350 Chevy engine in it. How much did it sell
We'll
for?
let Heitzman go first.
Is that a blower? I can't.
No,
it's just
Looks like it's
Just a
got
regular
two
carbureted.
Yeah.
two 4 barrels on
Yeah.
it.
Jeff says 15,000. Heitzman says 15,000. I would say maybe 18.
17,850.
I was going to say 17,850.
If he'd have just given you a chance
no,
to
I
speak
would've
up,
got it. I would've
cut
had
you
it.
off.
I-
Okay,
Right,
now
spot on.
here's one for Heitzman. This would be his car. He would drive this. A 1979 Mercedes-Benz 280 CE. A 1979 Mercedes-Benz. I can see Heitzman sitting in the car, the window rolled down, his elbow out, and him smoking a pipe filled with Prince Albert tobacco.
I was thinking cigar, but okay. I can live with a pipe.
79, how much?
$9,000.
$9,000?
24.
24? Heitzman says,
Heitzman says 24. I'll go to 25 then.
okay, 19,950. See, you two can get into the classic club
Yeah.
era easily.
Under
that-
20 grand.
And finally,
Put that in your pipe. and
finally, I had to do this for Leslie. Here for sale, a 1994 Jaguar XJS.
smoke it. Jaguar. What is going on in the front? Oh, it's got wiper. It's got the front headlight wipers on
Looks
it.
like it got smacked.
No, it didn't. How much do you think
it
that
was
that
built
car?
that way?
How much do you think that this car sold for? It was no reserve car, so keep that
convertible.
in mind. A 1994 Jaguar XJS.
$8,000.
Oh, man. Heitzman says 35. I would go 26.
$11,538, and you too can have all the problems on four wheels with
Yeah,
that car.
You can just
Bring the
smell
wrecker.
it. You can just smell it.
No, have the wrecker follow you wherever you go. That's the way that
You can
works.
just smell that.
All right. Just ahead, Jeff has the racing calendar. Mars has This Week in Auto History. And I'll have this week's auto news headlines, some of them anyway. In Real Time Car Talk Show continues after this break. Well, let's try it again.
You've waited all winter, and it's finally here. The Tailpipes and Tacos Spring Cruise In. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, Saturday, April 19th. Make any donation to Shirley's Kids and get a free breakfast taco. There'll be mimosas and Bloody Marys, too. Get to the best cruise in of the year, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, make a donation of any amount, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. Join the car camaraderie, and your car will automatically compete for one of 3 chili pepper trophies at no charge. Spring is here, and what better way to celebrate than with a free taco at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We hope to see you then. Come on out. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Hey, you're going to the Hot Rod Tour of Texas? Be sure and follow the In Wheel Time team when we join over 300 other enthusiasts beginning April 24th as we trek across Texas. Get the info link at inwheeltime.com.
All right.
And our In Wheel Time Facebook page.
Cool.
Time now for the racing calendar, sponsored by the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge.
Thank you for that. We've got NHRA this weekend, NHRA Ford Wide Nationals at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Thank you for that. It's English. So look forward to that. Check your local listing on it. You've got Indy. You've got the Grand Prix of Long Beach this weekend. Yay, 90 laps in Long Beach, California. That's always interesting. It's always a good race to watch. I like the open wheel. Go Andretti. Craftsman Truck Series race was postponed yesterday due to weather. Much like maybe the Xfinity and the NASCAR Cup guys, that might happen, but they're all in Bristol for the NASCAR Xfinity and the big Cup guys. They were in Bristol yesterday also. That was canceled. You've got IMSA racing this weekend. It is the Grand Prix of Long Beach because they're running with the Indy guys. And then you've got Homestead, Miami for the Formula E going on. And then you also have the Don's favorite, my favorite as well, the Formula One Bahrain Grand Prix. That's in the it's in your brain, Bahrain International Circuit.
Bahrain.
There's a lot of racing going on.
This week in auto history, Mr. Mars.
Got quite a few things going on, so we're going to kind of run through them. This week in 1977, on the recommendation of the National Advisory Committee on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, they approved the standardized symbol signs for the nation's streets and highways. You're going to see some right here.
What year did they do that?
1977.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Reserved parking for the handicap crossing, fire station, stop ahead, yield ahead, and parking.
The food and restaurant one, that should be Bucky's sign.
Well, this was all part of
71.
it before pre-Bucky's, but that's all in the blue signs that you're going to find out on the highway. Then, in 1971, Ford introduced the Pinto. Now, this is actually 1970 for the 71 model year. And it was designed to be compact, lightweight, and budget-friendly, competing against all the cars that were coming in for the imports because of the rising fuel prices at the time. It was a simple design, rear-wheel drive, really successful at first, but then they ran into a problem with the fuel tank.
No, actually, people ran into the fuel tank, and it was a problem.
It caused a problem, yes. But they actually sold 3 million of those cars.
Oh, yeah.
So they sold a lot of them. So, also this week, 1912, the first New York City cab painted yellow. Now, John Hertz founded the Yellow Cab Company in Chicago in 1907.
John Hertz, like the Hertz rental car company?
Yeah, that's
that was his cousin. He chose yellow based on a visibility study by a local university that determined that color was more recognizable than all the other colors out there. So then in 1912, he moved to New York, took it on over there, and it quickly caught on over there, and now it is universally the recognized cab color, particularly in New York.
Cool.
Now, April the 11th, this is Jeff Day. Jeff,
yeah, baby.
For you.
Yep.
1988, Neil Young released his album, This
Harold
Note's
Melvin
for
and
You.
the Blue Notes.
Now, this included the song Coupe de Ville.
Coupe de Ville.
Just for you. Also, in 2007, production begins on the Buick Enclave.
Yes.
Now, 2017, exactly 10 years to the day,
Jeff Day on there.
they released the second generation of the Buick Enclave.
heck
They did
you
it
say?
intentionally. That's all yours on Jeff Day.
All right. Thank you.
Now, April the 12th, 1964, the first Mustang TV ad airs. Now, they were really smart when they did this because they did this just before it went on sale and was debuted at the World's Fair that year. Went across all 3 major networks the night before the official release. Showed the Mustang sporty design, the affordability, youthful appeal. First day, 22,000 Mustangs sold on the very first day. Very successful ad campaign. Also, 1981, the launch of the DeLorean DMC-12 in the U.S. Now, this caught everybody's attention because of the futuristic stainless steel body, the gull-wing doors, and it's powered by a V6 engine.
And the cocaine left on the dashboard.
No, that came with the second generation.
Okay.
It promised style over speed. It was built in Northern Ireland. It very iconic because of the underwhelming performance and production issues it had. But the short run production ended in 1983, and it lives on as the Time Machine and Back to the Future.
Always will.
They always will. That's this week in automotive history.
Two.
All right. Here, I'm going to kind of close out this segment
All right.
with starting off with this story, just to get you mad. If you weren't mad enough, Mary Barra received compensation worth $29.5 million last year as CEO of General Motors, a 5.9% increase as the automaker achieved strong earnings and executed on key business goals. Barra's base salary of $2.1 million was unchanged from 2022. Well, so how does she get the $29 million? Through stock options mainly.
Stock options.
And bonuses and stuff like that.
Yeah, but her stock was in
Who
Tesla.
is her husband? Does
stock-
she have a husband, or is it another woman?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't either,
I
because you
think-
certainly never hear about him. Of course, if I were him, I'd stay back. And,
I'd be on an island in the Bahamas somewhere.
hey, Mary, where's John? Oh, I don't know, actually. Doesn't make any difference.
I don't care.
She doesn't care.
Her stock is in Tesla.
Barra, in 2024, again became the highest paid Detroit 3 executive, a distinction she held for 8 straight years before falling behind former Stellantis CEO Carl Tavares in 2023. Compensation for Carl, who resigned in December, fell 37% in 2024 to $23.9 million. Well, no wonder the
Duh.
he stole all the money. Ford CEO Jim Farley saw his total compensation slip 6.1% to 2024 to $24.9 million. As guess what? Quality and electric vehicle sales fell short of goals. I think the biggest problem is those recalls. Do you know how much recalls cost a car maker? A lot.
Well, they build them into the price.
No, not as many as Ford
Well, that's
has.
true, too. But they got
Because-
some built in.
But some of them are something so simple as a typo error on a
A label.
label, and it costs them so much money, even to get
Sticker.
through all the paperwork just to get the stickers replaced.
Sticker.
And having to go through all of that, they probably got a recall department, and all they do is work on recall stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Can
Yeah,
you imagine how
Yeah,
big
they got a
that
working
is?
department.
The
And that's-
process has got to be monstrous
Oh,
just to get it
God.
get it approved from the government and all that stuff. And then you got to send it to the dealerships, and they're paying $150 an hour loaded rate to put stickers on.
We used to work with factory reps all the time, and their goal is to increase sales through this, depending on the service department. But they also were the mediator for the warranties.
And let's see here. Let me go back to that story that I just read just a minute ago.
Mary Barra?
No, it was Jim Farley.
Oh yeah.
And he still made
Farley,
what?
Farley.
29. Oh, here it is over here.
Farley,
He
Farley.
still made $24.9 million.
I don't know
Hey,
how you
Jim,
can survive off that.
I'll tell you what, Jim. For all the future recalls, we're taking it out of your paycheck,
There you go.
and you'll still have money left over.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That ain't going to happen either.
No.
I got some other really interesting stories we're going to get to the next half hour. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. Our address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We'll be back after this.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show now reaches 5.3 million folks each year. Check us out on InWheelTime.com, the Odyssey Radio app, YouTube, Facebook, and just about every other entertainment source out there, including our live broadcast every Saturday, 10 to noon Central Time. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show has informative automotive guest interviews, new car reviews, along with popular features including Jeff's Car Culture, the latest new cars, cruise-ins, and racing dates. It's InWheelTime.com. Join us.
We're having an argument
No,
here.
well, yes, you two are. Every week. Mom and Dad are fighting again.
From the Sugar Shack Studios in Texas, USA. It's the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Aiden Bergsman, or as Mr. Mars calls him, Bagman,
Well, if he don't answer the phone, he's going to be.
from Anderson Economic Group, talks Trump's tariffs and the automotive world, Part 2. Jeff will bring us some car culture with trips in the back seat of the family truckster station wagon.
yeah.
And Mr. Mars reviews the 2025 Infiniti QX60. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars down there. Right here is we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Nod Nordsma.
Good.
Yeah. You ever heard of Nod Nordsma?
I have now.
Well, Nod is
Don backwards.
Don Armstrong backwards, yeah. Nod Nordsma. A good friend of mine who's no longer with us, that would be Roger Bateman, came up with that in one of the newsrooms that I worked in years ago. And so everybody had their name spoken backwards.
Oh,
And I think his name was Regor Name Tab,
okay.
Roger Bateman.
Okay.
Anyway, so there's a salute to you, Roger Bateman. So we're going to try to get a hold of Aiden Bergsman. But in the meantime and in between time, we can still kind of go over this because Automotive News kind of puts a nice spin, if you will, on this. President Trump temporarily suspended most of the reciprocal tariffs he implemented on U.S. trading partners just hours after they took effect April 9th. But numerous tariffs remained in place, including 25% duties on automotive imports that analysts and automakers have warned could lead to skyrocketing vehicle prices and significant production shutdowns. U.S. is still collecting 25% tariffs on vehicle imports today. That duty went into effect April 3rd and applies to all vehicles except for those from Canada and Mexico that meet the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement's regional content rules. Those vehicles have a 25% tariff only on the value of their non-American content. As I talked to Aiden about a couple of weeks ago when we spoke to him, it's just not black and white.
Right.
That part came from here and went from there to here to there, and it's going to be something bizarre or in between that the tariff gets placed
Put the
on.
puzzle together. And
Steel and
all the
aluminum
pieces are-
tariffs still in place. 25% on steel and aluminum tariffs still in effect. They apply to steel and aluminum imports from all countries. In response to the flow of fentanyl into the U.S., the tariff, 25%, continues on Canadian and Mexican goods that do not meet the terms of the USMCA, that
Agreement, yeah.
agreement that I just told you about. Well, most vehicles and parts from Canada and Mexico meet those requirements. The ones that don't are subject to the duty plus the full 25% auto tariff. A 20% tariff on Chinese goods also remains in effect. That duty stacks on top of the auto tariff for vehicles and parts shipped from China, which is, last I heard, was 145%. Reciprocal tariffs are mostly suspended for now. On April 2nd, they were suspended until July 9th. Tariffs on imports from most trading partners range from 10% to 50%. The individualized tariff rates are mostly gone, but a 10% baseline tariff is in effect instead. It applies to goods from all U.S. trading partners except Canada, Mexico, and China. Canadian and Mexican goods are exempt from the reciprocal tariffs. More tariffs are on the way as negotiations take place. Trump has promised to implement more sectoral tariffs, including on semiconductors, copper, pharmaceuticals, and other products. It was unclear what the scope of those tariffs will be and when they might go into place. So all of these government divisions, if you will, government agencies that are getting axed. I think they're going to have to put it on a new tariff department.
Yeah,
How do you
probably.
keep track of all of that? That's the real
Yeah.
sticker.
You handle automobiles, you handle farming, you handle pharmaceutical, you handle this. Segregated.
It's nuts, is what it is. It's hard to believe that.
We're going to handle the liquor division.
You and I?
In real time, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Liquor division.
And then
Michael will do the brown water side.
I'll do the clear.
You can do the gins and stuff.
Okay, and
then
you can do the imports from Colorado.
the tequilas and stuff like that. Yeah, imports from Colorado. That's a different division altogether. That's a federal division there, buddy.
No, I think that falls into corn.
Corn, yeah, farming.
Farming.
We'll call it farming, yeah, yeah. I know some people that could be good farmers. I really do.
Yes, you do.
Old McDonald.
Old McDonald's
was a
had a
farmer.
farm. Mars, are we going to be able to do this interview?
Yeah, we had an email issue. He's coming right now.
Oh, he's coming in. Okay, good. All right. So I've kind of set the stage. I don't want to move on unless if he's going to be here with us in just a minute,
Yes.
because it's too good. Aiden is with AEG Consultants identified many vehicles commonly identified as American cars. These are manufactured by GM, Ford, Toyota, Honda, Tesla, and Chrysler. They also looked at some BMW, Kia, and Mercedes-Benz vehicles assembled in the U.S. With 2025 models being used as a basis, they estimate the tariff costs that way. And if you'd like more information, you can go to AndersonEconomicGroup.com/tariffs, and all of that. You'll be able to get more information if you're really into this
Drill
sort of
down
thing.
in it, yeah.
Yeah, it's so difficult to try to put into words exactly what the tariffs are on what vehicles and how much the exact tariff is. So from what I understand, they're going to put a sticker on the window sticker, when they do that at the dealership,
Right.
that's going to include the tariff amount for that particular car.
Saw a commercial this morning before coming to the studio. I think it was Hyundai, and it says these are non-tariffed vehicles. So they're already in inventory, is what it is.
Yeah, the ones that are already.
They want to make clear because there's people. People are smart, but then again, they don't do the research to find that out. They don't do the due diligence.
I see Aiden.
There he is.
Okay.
Fire him up.
Yes, let's do
There you
that,
go.
shall we? Aiden Bergsman, it's good to talk to you. Good to see you.
Yes, hello, gentlemen. Good to be back.
Well, thank you very much. I know that you're not busy at all. I thought, Mars, you can actually. Well, he's really busy. I don't know whether they can get him on or not. Well, let's try.
He's
shall
in the
we?
office. You're in the office right now?
In his.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a coat, tie on, and everything.
Yeah.
I know you're looking sharp.
I
So
feel underdressed.
Aiden, I just ran over a auto news story about trying to break it down, but as you and I talked a couple of weeks ago, we probably spread more gray paint on the whole issue because it is so complicated and so interwoven. And now it's boiling down to, hey, was the cigarette lighter made where? It was made in China. Oh, that's part of the tariff thing. Because that's basically what it is. If it's not made in America, then there's a tariff on that particular piece of the car, even though the car is built in America. So maybe you can help us understand all of this.
I can do my best. It's like you said, it is very tricky, and with kind of the back and forth, and it's hard to remember which ones are even in effect anymore and which ones aren't. But the current situation, as I'm sure we're all maybe aware of now, the reciprocal tariffs that were announced just last week, those have been paused. But the ones that are still in effect are those steel and aluminum, and as you mentioned, tariffs on the car imports and their car components. It does come down to just, where is this component coming from? Is it the U.S.? Is it Canada, Mexico, somewhere in the EU? There are some exemptions that I think they're still working on. If they fit under the USMCA, certain components may not be hit with these tariffs, but that's still something that they're currently working on trying to differentiate.
Well, my take on the 90-day pause on this is that I would imagine that whatever department you want to call this, the tariff department within the United States government, that those guys are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, setting up meetings with all of these countries and trying to then hash out, okay, where are we going to settle on this to move forward. And I would imagine that there probably aren't enough people within the United States government overall to be able to handle all of this, because each government has their own entity that handles tariffs. And so the leader of that country says, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Now you guys go back and you straighten it all out and you fix it up and you do the negotiation with the United States. Isn't that the kind of read that you get on this?
It's certainly a lot of back and forth, and you guys joked earlier that you guys thought I was pretty busy. They're certainly busier. Like you said, working around the clock, and the uncertainty of it all definitely adds to it. I think where one day you're thinking all of these other tariffs are going into effect, and then shortly after, now they're not, and they were probably spending a lot of time trying to hash that out, as you said, and figure out how do we go about implementing these and what's going to be impacted versus what's not, who's involved and who's not. So it's I think a very laborious process, and like you said, they're probably working really, really hard to figure that out.
Do you think that we'll ever see a free trade agreement between countries again, between the United States and country X or Y or Z?
I really hope so. I think that's the way that it should be. I think as from one country to another, we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses, things that we're better at producing, or easier access to natural resources, and we shouldn't try to be so self-reliant, because there are other countries that can do some things better than we can, and we can do some things better than others can. And I think for us to all gain the benefits of what we all can do very well, it does have to stem from some free trade and relying on others, and being okay with not being able to do everything yourself, because you've got your friends and allies out there who can help when you need the help.
Well, it is a global economy, and I think that we, for decades now, have really been working on a global economy. Unfortunately, I think that there are some countries that have taken advantage of us, and as I just go by what Donald Trump says, that they're raking us over the coals, so to speak, on many items with the tariffs that they place on American goods, and then we have to pay all of the extra. It's just a bad, biased kind of thing that needs to be straightened out. But beyond all of that, I wanted to focus with you for a moment now, because we have a lot of our viewers and listeners that really want to talk about stock prices, what it's doing to the stock market, and how it affects, even if you're not in the stock market, how it affects people. So I'll let you try to guide us on this kind of discussion, because I've got a 401k. I'm invested in the stock market through a 401k, and I know what it's done to my 401k here recently is not a good thing. So what is your take on this?
Well, I think much like everything else, it's pretty taxing to experience and to see, and much like you, I also have a 401k, and so we're seeing effects of that as well. And I don't have any other kind of personal stocks or investments, but for people that do, it's you're hearing all these stories of just from one day it seems to be recovering, and then the next an announcement is made and everything just starts to tumble, and it's across the board. And from what I just see in the news and from friends or family, it's a lot to take in. Not only are we, from our perspective, focusing on the auto impact of it, but it's, really being felt everywhere.
Aiden, I got a question for you. If they came to you and said, Aiden, fix it for us, what would you do? What's your opinion on how it should work? You can pick a segment. Pick just the automobile segment.
Sorry?
Just pick the one segment, like an automobile segment.
To fix with all of the?
Exactly.
That's a good question. I mean, I certainly don't think, trying to target these components that come from other places is certainly going to help. If a certain vehicle line is going to be relying on maybe a lot more Canadian or Mexican components, and we're just targeting that, then, I mean, what are we doing? That car's just going to get more expensive.
Yeah, or wrap it up into a bundle, like, okay, you've got Don's suggested cigarette lighter from the automotive side, but you may have a fruit, or you may have cattle. Kind of bundle that all together as one tax rather than individual. That's the way I look at it. That's the way, my opinion, should be done.
I mean, yeah, tariffs are a pretty tricky thing, and especially when they're all widespread like this and hard to keep track of. I think it can be a little hard to keep track of maybe what the whole underlying point was and kind of what that solution is and how we can
Right.
maybe make these more beneficial
Yeah.
for people rather than seeming like this, dark cloud looming over that things are just going to get more expensive.
Right.
And that things are going to get worse, and we're going to lose more money in the stock market. A good friend of mine actually handles my 401k. He told me several years ago, hey, look, there's going to be bumps in the road when it comes to investments with your 401k and that sort of stuff. So the best advice that I can give you is don't panic. Everybody wants to, stop all of your stock market stuff, stop everything that you're doing. Ride it out. Chances are, if you look at the past history of the stock market, it will even itself out and it will bring itself back. And it was I heard on the radio, they were using a 10-year analogy of the stock prices. And if you bought the stock 10 years ago, and you look at it on a year-to-year basis, you get this wavy line where it comes and goes, and it gets better, it gets
roller
worse,
coaster.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But overall, the value of that $1 piece of stock that you had has already grown over the years into something that you would typically not find if you go to your local bank and put your money in a savings account.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think panicking can only make it worse for some people and is going to add more stress and more anxiety and all of that. And you're right. Over time, if you select a large period, you're going to have those ebbs and flows, the ups and downs. You're going to have times when you're doing really, really well with your stocks or your investments, and because of that, it's when the times are a bit tougher and you're seeing those declines that you need to remember that you're going to be okay. You've been doing pretty well before and up until that point. And there's always going to be the positives and negatives. It's not always going to be just a really, really smart investment that only gets better and better. If that were the case, I'd like to know which one that is, and I'd like to join in that one too.
Yeah.
In your job, what are you focused on right now?
Well, we did our update to our tariff analysis, which our first iteration of was really just focused on the Canadian and Mexican tariffs. And at the time, what we were finding is we're going to see these impacts on vehicles with those, the reliance on those countries for components or assembly or manufacturing. And at the time, some of the winners, it seemed, were going to be vehicles from either the EU or from Asia that weren't relying on parts from those countries, and they could not be as impacted. But now with these across the board autos and auto parts tariffs, we've updated it, and we're now kind of seeing that narrative flip where we're still seeing these costs going up for North American produced vehicles, but also we're seeing some pretty steep costs for vehicles with heavy reliance on European parts or Asian parts, because those are now being rolled into these tariffs.
Well, somebody said on the news the other day that, I've got to go out and buy me a new car right now. And the cars that are on the ground in the United States at the dealerships, those really aren't any more affected by what's going on in Washington and the current tariff ups and downs than they were before. So if you want to go buy a car, buy it off the lot is my suggestion.
Plenty of inventory.
I read a story and mentioned it earlier before you came on that and I don't remember what manufacturer it is, but they're holding all of their imported cars. I think there was an Asian company. I don't know, it was Hyundai or somebody.
It was Hyundai.
But they're holding all of their cars that are coming off of the ships at the port. So they're not sending them to the dealers, so they're going to try to ride it out as long as they can until they get the tariff situation straightened out with their country.
Yeah, I think you're right there. From what I've heard, the vehicles currently on lots, those aren't, they didn't pass through the borders and the ports with these tariffs in effect. So they weren't, nobody had to pay for that tariff. The costs weren't going up. I'm sure you guys have seen some commercials. I know we have some here. For the ones I've seen were Ford and Jeep rather, offering employee pricing for some of their vehicles, and I'm assuming that's for these, at least the vehicles on lots currently. So we're starting to see now some of the responses from these OEMs and how they are handling these tariffs, and at least initially it seems like they're trying to get with the consumers and show them that they're at least for now that there's some benefits and that they can not have to worry too much about going to the lot and seeing these prices skyrocket.
So it's AndersonEconomicGroup.com/tariffs, and that's where we can drill down into the latest report.
Yep, that's correct. We released it a couple of weeks ago, I think April 2nd. And, as this continues to develop, I'm sure we'll spend some more time even adding more vehicles to our analysis and really drilling down into the minute details of the tariffs coming from which countries and how much.
Well, Aiden, it's a great pleasure to have you on the show with us. I know you're extremely busy, and I know that this was a kind of we got to talk to those guys again. But we truly appreciate your knowledge, and thank you very much for spending the time with us today. You take care, and let's stay in touch.
Yeah, we'll do. Happy to be on. Thank you.
Thank you, Aiden.
Thanks so much. Aiden Bergsman, Anderson Economic Group. All right. Let's take a little break. Shall we?
Yep.
Okay. Just ahead, Mr. Mars reviews the 2025 Infiniti QX60.
All right.
Along with Jeff's car culture feature, and the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be back.
In Wheel Time Dancers.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll be looking forward to that.
You've waited all winter, and it's finally here. The Tailpipes and Tacos Spring Cruise In. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, Saturday, April 19th. Make any donation to Shirley's Kids and get a free breakfast taco. There'll be mimosas and Bloody Marys, too. Get to the best cruise in of the year, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, make a donation of any amount, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. Join the car camaraderie, and your car will automatically compete for one of 3 Chili Pepper trophies at no charge. Spring is here, and what better way to celebrate than with a free taco at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We hope to see you then. Come on out. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show hits the road literally when we join the Hot Rod Tour of Texas, April 26th. Join our link to the website through inwheeltime.com. Thanks for riding with us today, and it's time now for Jeff's Car Culture. Remember riding in the back seat of your parents' station wagon? A lot of people do.
Yep. And
we're ready to hear all about it.
Yeah, these are things that kids rode on a station wagon remember. If you grew up in the 60s or 70s, chances are you spent countless hours in the back of that wagon. Before minivans and SUVs took over, these wood panel beasts were the ultimate car family. Those of us who survived the pre-seat belted days have some unique memories of the what your kid did as a kid back there. Nowadays, the kids won't understand. The first one we talk about is the coveted rear-facing back seat. The rear-facing third seat was a prime real estate. It was people would fight. The kids would fight over who rides in the back, waving at cars behind, making faces at other kids. It was like having your own private
at the people
clubhouse
back there.
on wheels. If it meant getting a little car sick sometimes, that was okay too. And the next one they appreciated was the way back was our territory. The vast cargo area behind the seats was our domain. Kids sprawled out with pillows and blankets on long trips, reading comics, playing games, or just watching the sky through the rear window. No seatbelts, no rules, just freedom to roam in our rolling living room. The third one we appreciated was wood paneling. It was cool.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Those fake wood panels on the sides were the height of style. Whether it was a Ford Country Squire, a Chrysler Town & Country, the wood grain siding made our cars look like surfboard on wheels. We had no idea how tacky it was, decades later. So
Family
there you
truckster,
go.
baby.
There you go. And then we have the manual rear window. The rear window was a source of endless fascination. Some rolled down into a tailgate, others lifted up, but all required manual operation. The power window was a luxury few had, and we became experts at the crank and latch system. Road trips, we all did them with no screens or devices. We invented our own entertainment. License plate bingo, I Spy, the alphabet game for all the activities that we had. The station wagon became a mobile game room with siblings competing and parents mediating from the front seat. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. You know, that was a I'm not touching you. That was a big one. Tailgate party position. The drop-down tailgate was perfect for picnics, drive-in movies, parade watching. It became an instant bench seat complete with metal support that would leave impressions on the backs of your legs. Every family gathering started with pop the tailgate. There you go. You knew it was a party after that. Summertime, seat burn. Those vinyl seats were lethal in the summer. We learned to check the seat temperature before sitting down or risk that third-degree burns on the back of your legs. The ritual of throwing blankets over the seats became second nature during the hot weather season. And, of course, who remembers no air conditioning experience? Many wagons didn't have AC back then. They relied on the 40-60 system. 4 windows down, 60 miles an hour. Your hair got tangled, maps flew around, and you couldn't hear anything. But it was our version of climate control. Secret storage, we all had it. Every wagon had hidden compartments under the floor or in the aisles. This became our treasure trove, storing emergency supplies, hidden snacks, or that forgotten toy on the summertime trip. Finding something months later was like discovering a buried treasure. And, of course, by then it was the end of an era. When minivans appeared in the 80s, our beloved wagons began disappearing. Modern kids will never know the joy of riding backwards, the freedom of the way back, or the distinctive squeak of those vinyl seats. The station wagon wasn't just a car, it was a way of life.
That was so good.
That was good, yeah. I enjoyed it. We
yeah.
had wagons. They were fun. They were fun.
How many brothers and sisters?
I was the youngest of 4. But it wasn't our wagon. We would ride, relatives and things.
Yeah.
My dad always had a Pontiac or a Cadillac or something.
See,
like
my sister and brother-in-law, they had a station wagon, 4 kids. And, man, that thing got wore out.
that. Yeah, they're cool.
They are.
And that's why I like them to
handy.
today. I like a station wagon.
Well, you know what's so funny? Because really, in essence, the SUVs that everybody drives now is basically a station wagon.
And, you had the doors had ashtrays with cigarette lighters in them and all that. Everybody pushing them. Don't play with the lighter, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Doing kid
Well,
stuff.
how about the tattoo that you got on your leg?
Oh,
Taking
yeah,
it,
yeah.
Burning it on your leg.
I'm not touching you. That's the favorite one of mine.
All right. Mars, do you want to do your car review now, or do you want to wait till the bottom of the hour?
That's up to you. I can do it right now. I was just answering Mr. Ainsley. He had a question about their engineering, but I'm good to go.
Our engineering is his engineering. Is it not?
Oh, he's asking questions about the other stuff that you're working on.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to do.
I think we need a new raffimator valve.
Do we have time? We only got 3 minutes.
No, we don't.
I can be quick, but not quite that quick.
I don't trust Mike on the quickness.
No, I don't either, and I think that we're going to do we're going to right off the top of the next hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a story that I want to throw in here while I can. Automakers investing billions of dollars developing more sophisticated driver assistance systems may want to think twice. Consumer demand has stagnated for many of the underlying features in those systems, according to Auto Pacific. The most popular ones support human drivers rather than monitor or critique their behavior, according to findings from the market research firm's latest consumer survey. 88% of respondents viewed parking sensors favorably, according to the findings, while blind spot cameras, 83%, and rear cross traffic alerts with automated emergency braking, 80%, also received high satisfaction marks. Consumers reported their highest levels of disapproval with speed limit warnings and driver monitoring systems, which they viewed as vehicular school marms. 80% say they did not like driver monitoring, while 17% disliked speed limit warnings. Findings may complicate efforts to rely on new technology as a primary means to combat traffic deaths on U.S. roads. Despite an influx of technology offerings, road fatalities remain higher than they were a decade ago. Part of the reason, consumers remain reluctant to pay for technology features even as their awareness of them grows, according to Auto Pacific's research. The In Real Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000 square foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show now reaches 5.3 million folks each year. Check us out on InWheelTime.com, the Odyssey Radio app, YouTube, Facebook, and just about every other entertainment source out there, including our live broadcast every Saturday, 10 to noon Central Time. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show has informative automotive guest interviews, new car reviews, along with popular features including Jeff's Car Culture, the latest new cars, cruise-ins, and racing dates. It's InWheelTime.com. Join us. From the Sugar Shack Palatial Studios in Texas, USA, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Sue Mead checks in from Laughlin, Nevada, and the Battleground off-road race out there. Jeff has the cruise-in and events calendars, and we're going to do Mr. Marr's review of his Infiniti. So howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin, Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. It's the world's automotive gallivanting gal. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is from Laughlin, Nevada. It's Sue Mead along with Cam Douglas with Optima Battery. Howdy, folks. How y'all doing out there?
Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for having us on. It promises to be a really warm day in the desert with some hot off-road racing. But I'm so happy to be with you. I want to pass you over quickly to Cam Douglas, who is the Director of Marketing for Optima Battery, and let him share a few factoids with you. And at the end, remind Cam or me there's a secret that we want to allude to.
Uh-oh.
And maybe for our next show, we've got some really big news.
Okay, great. Cam, good to have you with us today. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Have you got the air? Have you got the?
On the show.
Yeah, you bet. You guys got the air conditioner cranked up in those race cars up there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
95 degrees at 9 o'clock. Yes.
Yeah. And so I assume that the windows are out and the air conditioning is the natural kind. So Cam, how did you get involved in this?
In like the whole automotive space, or
yes. Well,
with Sue.
Well, how did you get involved with Sue Mead?
Well, it's all about off-road racing with Sue. So we've been involved in off-road. It's one of our toughest proving grounds for our product. So if you're in the off-road space, you're going to bump into Sue eventually. So that's how I met Sue. It's through I think it was through the Baja series, actually.
That's right. And I know that batteries are extremely important for autos and for airplanes that I sometimes fly. But I've learned so much by hanging out with the folks at Optima and their parent company, Clarios.
It's interesting you should say how rugged the batteries are, because the battery that I bought, the Optima that I bought, came via USPS. It was either the Postal Service or it might have been UPS. Either way, it came in the mail. And I'm going, oh my God, how do you do that? Because obviously I'm old school with the lead acid batteries and, don't turn them over and none of that stuff. Well, apparently with the Optima, that's not an issue.
Right. Optimas are completely sealed. So it has a rating for shipping and all that good stuff to be able to be shipped by regular conventional methods, including next day air.
Well, and I'm sure that you guys have dealt with this in the off-road world where you got a vehicle that rolls over occasionally, and you don't have to worry about the battery spilling lead acid all over the place.
Yeah, I think Sue knows about that. She told me that story once or twice.
I have rolled over, and it's very frightening. But also, it's one of the things I said to Kim when I got to know this battery company and that it was sealed, was that we think about that maybe happening with off-road racing. We don't always think about it happening on the highway. There are a lot of rollovers with trucks and SUVs and cars on the highway, and it's a safety issue.
Well, yes, of course it is, and we see a lot more of them, especially with SUVs. They're sitting so high off the ground. They're a lot easier to roll over than a car these days.
Yeah, in addition, you probably remember when you buy a vintage car, 30 years, 50 years old, and you open up the hood and you look at a neat old original car, and typically the underside of the hood is all corroded because of the old conventional lead acid battery. Even in a nice California car, it tends to do that just from the fumes and stuff. But an Optima battery will not corrode inside the engine compartment, even whether it's tipped over or not. So.
Well, one of the other interesting things about your batteries is the fact that they last a long time, and really in today's world, I think that they're fairly competitive when it comes to pricing.
Yeah, quite a bit. Other batteries that are manufactured using AGM technology have become more expensive. Our product is still a premium battery that has a slightly higher price point, but it's not as big a leap to consider an Optima battery compared to a regular battery. It's usually about 10 to 20% more expensive.
Cam, tell everybody what the difference is between a yellow top and a red top.
Sure, great question. That is absolutely the most common question we get. So a red top battery is the original chemistry that we created back in the late 70s and actually is still used today, and that chemistry is designed for the highest cranking power and longest life. But really, the red battery is for the highest cranking power. The yellow top is a deep cycle battery that has the ability to be cycled numerous times. So where the red top may cycle 50 times, the yellow top may cycle, in excess of 300 times. The unique property about an Optima yellow top is that it also has extremely high cranking power. So it will also start most any vehicle. So as a default, when people are using batteries to their extreme, Jeeps with winches, Jeeps with, big driving lights and stereo systems, etc. The default choice there is use a yellow top. So anytime you're exceeding the alternator's capacity, you want to use a yellow top. That's when you're taxing the battery. So
interesting. So Sue, let me touch with you just for a moment here about your event that you're out there in the gambling world of Nevada.
I haven't been gambling yet. I might just throw $1 in a slot machine.
Yeah, sure. We know about you and your gambling. No.
Oh, did you see me on the overnight cams? I'm here to see Christopher Polvardi in his Ford trophy truck.
Ultimate truck, yeah.
Go off the line at 3:30 today and tomorrow. And you guys know I love off-roading, but so that's the main reason I'm here, and to learn more about Optima. They also told me when I first met them about a year and a half ago, we're a company that likes to have fun. I said, what? All right. I traveled 13 hours to come and be with them in this off-road space, but I want to also have Cam tell you, this company sponsors a number of what it calls athletes, and they're not just in the off-road world, be it trophy truck or UTV. They have a UTV athlete going off the line today, but there are a lot of other ends of the competition industry where you're doing testing on your batteries.
Yeah, I mean, and so we make batteries, and there's many different vehicles that use batteries. And I have a passion for off-road racing. I have a passion for on-road racing. And everybody has their own unique passion. One of the athletes that we sponsor is Edwin Evers in bass fishing, right? He's a world champion bass fisherman. And that's a little different than off-road racing, right?
Right.
It's a little different than on-road racing, but it's nonetheless, he pushes himself to the limit to be a world champion and pushes his boat and his electronics to the limit as well. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, guys, I know that you guys also make a whole line of marine batteries as well. So
Yeah, and the ATVs, yeah.
yeah. So it's a full lineup of batteries. And I guess the Optima.com is where we can get more information on all this, including the racing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Guys, I'd like to throw in one more thing before we get to the end and tell us how many more moments we have. One of the first things I learned about Optima that really sold me was when we were at King of the Hammers last year, and I saw that they were providing free charging for folks who came out to the desert with electric vehicles. There was a hydrogen charging or fueling station as well as solar. And I like that. But what Optima and Clarios do is recycle 8,000 batteries every hour, 24 hours a day. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of batteries.
Yeah. And congratulations to them, because all I know what to do is to take it back to the auto parts store and say, "Here, give me another one."
Yeah, there you go.
That's about it. Well, listen, it's great
Those
to.
batteries that you're taking back to the auto parts store, those are part of those 8,000 that get rid.
Exactly. Yep.
Very good to know. Sue and Cam, thank you all so much for joining us today. We appreciate it, and hopefully we'll be back in touch with you guys again soon, and good luck to you, Sue, and your adventures out there. Okay, coming up, Jeff has the cruise in and events calendars, and I'll have the stories making automotive news headlines, and we're going to get to Mr. Barr's car review. All that going to cram in here in just a few short seconds right after this break.
You've waited all winter, and it's finally here. The Tailpipes and Tacos Spring Cruise In. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, Saturday, April 19th. Make any donation to Shirley's Kids and get a free breakfast taco. There'll be mimosas and Bloody Marys, too. Get to the best cruise in of the year, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, make a donation of any amount, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. Join the car camaraderie, and your car will automatically compete for one of 3 chili pepper trophies at no charge. Spring is here, and what better way to celebrate than with a free taco at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We hope to see you then. Come on out. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Hey, it's the Unwheel Time Car Talk Show, and we hope that you'll join us on the upcoming Hot Rod Tour of Texas, beginning April 24th in Victoria. You'll get all the latest from the tour all weekend long. Saturday the 26th, we'll be streaming our live show from the tour stop at Spindle Tap Brewery, right here in Houston. That's 2 weeks from today. Thanks for joining us today here on In Wheel Time. And Mr. Mars has a review of the Infiniti QX60.
Yes, sir. I had a chance to drive the 2025 Infiniti QX60. Now, this vehicle... Sissy, yeah.
That one,
Never
Jim.
mind.
You said it.
I'm not going there. So this vehicle is assembled in Smyrna, Tennessee.
Smyrna,
The engine comes
Tennessee.
in from Japan. The transmission is U.S. made. Now, it's available in 4 trim levels. You get the Pure, the Lux, the Sensory, and the Autograph as the top of the line. We were driving the Lux all-wheel drive version. Now, your government says this is a standard SUV. To me, it's a midsize. I like calling it a midsize. It makes it a little bit easier to determine size whenever you're talking about it. Now, it is a 3-row vehicle. We had the 7-passenger arrangement. You can get a bench seat in the second row, and it'll give you another passenger. Now, we also had the black edition. Now, this is an add-on. It gives you the black front grille, the black roof rails, black emblems around on the car, and also had the optional black finish alloy wheels. Now, it's really kind of a shiny black. Really looks nice on the vehicle. And it's got a lot of the luxury touches you would expect from a luxury SUV. Rain-sensing wipers, power folding side mirrors that are heated. Got approach lighting so that when you walk up to it. And I really like the size and the style of this vehicle. Now, when you get into the interior, again, Infiniti, you're looking at leather seating surfaces. The front row, it's heated, ventilated seats. Second row, the outboard seating positions are also heated, and the third row folds down. And there's actually some underfloor storage back there underneath that third floor. Not a lot, but a little bit. Now, you're going to find you got a 12.3-inch center stack screen, and that's where you're going to find your Infiniti InTouch system, which is your nav, your audio, your convenience controls, surround view camera that I thought worked really well. If you weren't going very fast, you could actually go down the road with it and kind of watch what's around you a little bit before it hits the speed where it kicks in.
Talk about
Now,
distracted driving.
it has Apple CarPlay that's wireless, but the Android Auto, you got to be wired. It's not wireless to make a connection with that kind of connection.
Way to go.
So we also had the Bose 17-speaker audio system, and the rear doors, the second row doors, have window shades in them, which I've seen that now twice, and I think that's a nice little ad coming back from the past. Now, up under the hood, 2.0-liter turbo four-cylinder.
Pardon me, sir. Do you have any Grey Poupon?
The raise the window
Yes.
shade. 268 horsepower, 286 pound-feet of torque with a 9-speed automatic transmission. Now, properly equipped with a tow package and things, you can tow 6,000 pounds with this vehicle. EPA says you should be looking for 22 in the city, 27 on the highway, combined 24 in using premium fuel. It's required. The sticker says premium fuel, so you got to make a note. You're going to pay a little bit more for that.
Did you put
fuel.
premium fuel in it when you had it?
I only had to put gas in it one time.
Did you use premium fuel when you put it in there?
Actually, I did because I didn't.
Oh, Mars, come on. I saw you roll your eyes.
That's because
I believe him.
I did it, and I thought, how stupid is this? Anyway, but I did it. It's not my car. I didn't want to mess it up, and I don't believe it does. But anyway, I drove this vehicle 451 miles. Nice range on it. A lot of highway time, a lot of city time. I averaged 23.3 miles to the gallon on this vehicle. So I thought it was very nicely done. Had plenty of smooth power band.
Smooth.
I thought it drove quite nicely inside the city. It's flexible to maneuver around. It's easy to park. Out on the highway, on the open road, the highway bumps, the imperfections in the highway, it felt a little stiff. You could feel them. They were a little bit harsher than what you do at the city speed. So I'm not sure if you could do something with the tires. If you really wanted to change that, it wasn't real bad.
Jeff
it
could
was
fix
a
that
very
for
Yeah,
you.
we'll fix that up.
yeah. But it had a nice quiet row. If I was going to change anything, I would leave that third row out. Small vehicles like that, I prefer without it.
Yeah, more space.
Pricing, base trim price, $58,800. Now, as tested with a few things that we had, like
There we
the
go.
Black Edition, $62,745.
Okay. All right.
Base model price, you get into this thing at the base model at the pure level at $51,550.
Good luck in trying to find one of those on
In a
the
base
lot.
model.
Yeah, really. If you're looking for something to compare it to, an Acura MDX will start at $51,200, Audi Q7 at $60,500, and the Lincoln Aviator at $58,995. All of them in that what I call a midsize that your government says is a standard SUV. If you're looking in this package, looking for a package in this size vehicle, you absolutely should look at this Infiniti. I think you'll like it real well. And that's my review of the 2025 Infiniti QX60 Lux all-wheel drive.
All right, let's get the cruise in and events calendars from Jeffrey.
There you go. You got Nederland 2025 Project Celebration Car Show in Nederland, Texas.
Nederland. Are you involved in this, Mars?
No.
He'll be there.
My kids are all graduated.
So on April 19th, which is next weekend, the event will be held from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Nederland High School, located at 2101 North 18th Street in Nederland. I thought of you, Mike.
But you go to the dang football games.
Yes, sir.
This car and truck show welcomes all types of vehicles. It's open to the public with a $25 entry fee for the participants. Proceeds will support the Nederland High School graduating class of 2025. Project Celebration, providing a safe, alcohol-free drug environment for seniors. So for more information, contact Moose Johnson at 409-540-1419, and he'll fill you in on all that good stuff.
By the way, speaking of that, Mars, you need to take the in-wheel time truck over there.
Well, I'll probably go out there with a couple of the granddaughters. I got two granddaughters that are seniors, but it's at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And by the time I get back from here, it's kind of a press. But
and I did that on purpose. I didn't want to do anything during the day on the 19th because they should be with us. So everything is in the evening. But here you go, the 22nd Annual Retro Blast Car Show. This is in Bridgeport, Texas, also. 305 Highway 380 from 4 to 8:30, 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Where is that?
This is Bridgeport, Texas. It's out by Mike. Everything's out east. 22nd Annual Retro Blast Car Show set to take place. This event welcomes cars, trucks, motorcycles, whether classic or new. Just bring it on out. 8:30 is the ending for all the classics, and you got there with the enthusiasts. Then we got one for our Corpus Christi folks. It is the Cars and Coffee Corpus Christi. It's from 11 to 1 at 1290 FM 43 Suite D in Corpus. It's at the Coffee Waves. Suite D, that's the suite number that they're all be hanging out with. Coffee Waves at the London Square. Car enthusiasts and all that good stuff for the passion down there. And then we've got one that Mike sent me earlier in the week. This is for Driven to Serve Muscle Car, Jeep, and Truck Shows happening the 26th at Maple Grove Raceway. It's the largest combined car, Jeep, and truck show in the U.S. All proceeds benefit the Travis Manion Foundation. So check that out as well. Now, next week we'll be at Lupe Tortilla, and then we've got Hot Rod Tour Texas, and then we got Granbury coming up. I'm just exhausted talking about it.
Babies. That'd make you exhausted. Okay. Some of the stories making automotive news headlines this week. President Trump directed a powerful U.S. national security panel to take a fresh look at Nippon Steel's bid for U.S. steel to help determine if further action is appropriate, raising hopes for an elusive green light for the deal. I thought that they were going to go, no, we don't want to sell U.S. steel to Nippon Steel. Thought we were bringing it all home.
Well, the factory is here.
Nippon Steel said it was pleased by the news. We have been confident from the outset that an objective, fact-based review of our proposal partnership with U.S. Steel. See here, in this part of the story, they call it a partnership with U.S. Steel, will show that it strengthens American economically and also in the national security interests. What?
They've got the money.
Must be.
They got the money for
Yeah,
the
there is something funky going on there. Speaking of something funky going on. I read this story, and you're going to go, what?
That's funky.
He did what? This is from Corvette Blogger. The National Corvette Museum's new CEO, David Hill, just started his new position last month. But now, there are questions about how customers and employees of his Classic Trucks Restoration Parts Company were handled after the company was abruptly shut down last month. Mark Hay was the name of the Classic Truck Parts Company that was based in Oklahoma City. Apparently, they offered sheet metal products which were used to restore pickup beds. We're not exactly sure for the reasons that Mark Hay suddenly closed, but we were sent this link to a Facebook group that focuses on 1947 and 1955 Chevy trucks. Remember, the group posted on April 2nd that Apparently, Marquet is no longer in business. Anyone know why? The Post had over 90 comments with some saying they have paid thousands of dollars in advance for parts that no longer appear to be coming.
Or exists.
Local customers shared a photo that showed the facility was closed and locked, and Google was showing the location as permanently closed. Monday morning, a Corvette blogger reached out to the National Corvette Museum and shared some of the links that they had. They told the magazine that they were aware of the issue and that they sent us this response, which we received Monday afternoon. Ready? Mm-hmm. The National Corvette Museum was very recently made aware of social media allegations concerning David Hill. These allegations are not related to any activities or functions connected to the museum. But he is. We take matters of this nature very seriously out of respect for all individuals involved, a lawyer wrote this. We are currently reviewing the situation internally to determine any appropriate next steps. As always, the museum remains committed to upholding the integrity and values of our organization and community. We'll provide updates if and when appropriate. Hey, Bub. What do you think about your Marquet? What's going on over there, Dave? Old Dave.
Dave.
I got a feeling that Dave's going to be out as the big boy there at the Corvette
I'm wondering how he
Museum.
got in.
Did no one look at in his past,
Yeah, they got to vet him.
so to
That's what I'm
speak?
wondering. I'm kind of wondering the pickup truck aftermarket parts supplier,
Especially
and
for those years.
runs the Corvette
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, and
Runs his world.
nobody checked on him. Sounds
I
like
don't
an
know.
inside job to me.
A little money laundering going on, maybe. Could be.
General Motors, speaking of Corvettes, unveiled a futuristic Chevrolet Corvette electric hypercar.
Yeah.
With design touches inspired by aviation, as they say. It may be just the first concept GM shows this year, the Corvette concept, which the automaker said is not intended for production. They always say that. It was an advanced design study by a team based at a new design studio in England. England swings like a pendulum. GM said more Corvette concepts are coming this year, as is a GMC concept in a collaboration between British and Detroit design teams. I don't
Now,
know.
you got a picture of it
I don't
there.
know. I don't know whether you can see. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a bomber. Is what
Yeah.
it looks like.
Is it right-hand drive since they designed it in Europe?
Yeah, it is. I can see the steering
Yep.
wheel over there. Yeah. So
the first thing I noticed
That'll
when I
be
saw it.
something to
Yep.
look at. That's for sure. New Corvette concept is meant as a what they call blank page study. It draws on both the nameplate's history and its future, particularly in the upper half of the vehicle, while the bottom half weaves electric vehicle battery technology. What? Who?
It's an exercise in engineering and design.
That thing got an Optima in it?
God, please. Jeez. No, it doesn't. Doesn't have a battery at all, except some weird thing that's underneath the
Tub it out.
floorboard.
Tub that thing out.
Always. Hey,
Love it.
we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@nwheeltime.com. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to wrap things up on today's In Wheel
Wrap
Time
it.
Car Talk Show after this.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show now reaches 5.3 million folks each year. Check us out on InWheelTime.com, the Odyssey Radio app, YouTube, Facebook, and just about every other entertainment source out there, including our live broadcast every Saturday, 10 to noon Central Time. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show has informative automotive guest interviews, new car reviews, along with popular features including Jeff's Car Culture, the latest new cars, cruise-ins, and racing dates. It's InWheelTime.com. Join us.
Well, that's all for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Be sure and check us out online at inwheeltime.com. We're always looking for new, informative, and fun automotive things. If you have an idea or event, let us know. Our email address is info@inwheeltime.com. And when you're looking for award-winning car talk, you can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the In Wheel Time app. On the road, grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider, including the new Sirius XM podcast channel. And be sure and catch us on the Odyssey Radio app. We video stream our live show every Saturday 10 to noon on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In Wheel Time video technical director is we always need more Jeff Zekin. The booking agent, video editor, and people finder Mike Out of This World Mars, and our chief engineer David Ainsley.
David.
I'm Don Armstrong. Next week, we'll be back at Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. We hope you'll join us out there 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Then we go on tour with the Hot Rod Tour of Texas the following weekend, April 24th, out of Victoria. We hope you'll be joining us, or at least tune in. Details and links at InWheelTime.com. Hey, be safe out there. Have a great week, and thanks again for tuning in to In Wheel Time. We'll see you then.